Afternoon, everyone. We are Group 12 and we are here to present our case study on Project Hugo. Let me introduce to my team. We have Sina, Yiyang, Priya, myself, Revathi, and Tyag. First part, we assessed 8 environmental factors impacting Project Hugo, including LHSC's organizational culture, infrastructure constraint, political climate, and staff readiness. Past failures and internal silos have created hesitation, while leadership changes added pressure. Understanding these realities helped us align the project plan with on ground risk, setting a more grounded and strategic foundation. So the next part is work breakdown structure. We developed a structure WBS with 72 work packages covering tasks from planning and system setup to training, deployment, and closeout. Each task included PERT based duration estimates and logical sequencing. This structure helped us visualize, score clearly, assign responsibilities, and link activities directly to schedule and cost planning. The third part is network diagram and Gantt chart. Using the WBS, we created the network diagram and Gantt chart to model task dependencies and calculate the critical path. With derived expected durations, we mapped the full project timeline across 24 months. This helped us identify zero float task, manage scheduling risk, and align resources for key phases like training and go live. Part 4 is the leadership and management of change. We applied Cotter's 8 step model to guide change from establishing urgency to embedding long term cultural shifts. Given staff resistance and union dynamics, visible leadership, phased training, and quick win pilot sites were essential. Change management in Hugo isn't optional, it's the difference between systems use and system failure. Last part is the risk management. Using the RPN method, we evaluated the top 10 risk factors from Exhibit 9. Key threats included poor communication, unclear use of value, and weak leadership. Our scoring system prioritized risk based on severity, likelihood, and detachability, allowing us to focus mitigation efforts where failure would be both likely and costly. So, the enterprise environmental factors. Project Hugo is a major change for LHSC and its partner hospitals. Challenges include complex hospital structure, past EPR failures, outsourced IT gaps. The project faces several environmental challenges. Physicians are not hospital employees. So, Susan Johnson must focus on collaboration and clear communication to overcome hesitation from past failures. Infrastructure gap and outsourced IT require stable networks, device access, and careful data mitigation. Leadership has invested $25 million, but clinicians now show hesitation, requiring phased rollouts, early wins, and focus on patient safety to balance expectations. Communication is critical across 10,000 staff. So, town halls, newsletters, and clinical champions are used to build trust and explain benefits. HR must also support the recruitment of over 100 staff, adjust roles, and deliver targeted training. A super user model helps ease the transition and empower teams. Together, these steps help the successful and sustainable implementation of Project Hugo. Now, I'm going to pass on to Yang to talk more about work breakdown structure.
Thank you, Revathi. So one of the most important takeaway from developing the work breakdown structure was realizing how critical it is for building control and coordinating in a large-scale project. For Project Hugo, we identified 72 work packages across phases like planning, configuration, training, and implementing. Breaking the project down helped us not only understand the scope but also communicate it effectively across roles and departments. We learned that the WBS isn't just planning tool, it's the foundation of managing entire project. For example, when working on training, we realized that multiple teams were relying on the same training module to be developed, but no one was assigned responsibility. By clearly defining developed training material as a standalone work package, we clarify ownership and avoid duplication, a mistake that common in real projects, especially when several departments work together and assume someone else is handling the shared task. We also use the PERT estimates for each task instead of static duration guess. This gives us a more realistic timeline. that accounts for uncertainty. A good example was training and testing, where the optimistic and pessimistic estimates varied widely depending on staff turnover and scheduling limitation. Factoring in that range helped us recognizing that it was a high-risk task, which reflect and tag oversight in our network diagram. The biggest lesson here is that the well-structured WBS doesn't just show the work needed to be done. It reveals how the pieces connect. It helps us imagine overlapping responsibility, expose critical dependency, and align our time and cost planning. Without the clarity, we would we would have risk delayed miscommunication and even duplicate effort. And now I'll pass to Sina for his parts.
Okay, thank you, Yiyang. As Yang explained, WBS, after creating WBS, which organize all 72 tasks and break the project into smaller parts, then we use the PRT method to estimate how long each task would take by using optimistic, most likely, and pessimistic time. Using this method gave us more reliable task durations by considering possible delays. And our PRT analysis showed approximately 98% chance of finishing the project in 272 days. 14 days ahead of the original 260-day estimate. And when durations were established, we developed the network diagram, as you can see at the bottom. And it shows the order of tasks and how they are connected to each other. From the network, we found the critical path, which is the longest path through the project with zero slack. And these tasks must be on schedule or the whole project will be delayed. Or can you move to the next slide? And with durations and task links ready, we use Microsoft Project to create a full Gantt chart. And this chart shows the complete timeline, and red bars mark the task on the critical path. As you can see, we also summarize the major project phases with their durations, and the two largest phases are system development and system design, taking 65 and 58 days respectively. And also the shortest phases are requirements gathering and post-implementation. Both just take 5 days. Altogether, the full schedule comes to 272 days, which is about 9 months. And that's much shorter than the original 24-month plan from the case study, which was already described as aggressive. From this work, we learn how important it is to estimate time properly and check how tasks depend on each other. Tools like PRT, the network diagram, and the Gantt chart help us to build clear and realistic schedule. And it's also showed how a well-organized method makes the project easier to track and manage over time. I want to pass to Priya to talk about the leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Sina. Moving on to leadership and management change. This slide shows how Kotter's 8-step change model is applied to Hugo, with each step supported by specific work packages from the work breakdown structure. First, urgency is established by identifying risks in the current paper-based system. Next, a coalition is formed by assigning departmental liaisons. The version and strategy focus on improving patient care, reducing error, and improving workflows. Staff are empowered to training sessions on site purpose support and open feedback channels. Short term wins are generated by running pilot implementations, allowing early success stories and to build momentum. Gains are then considered through continuous feedback and system improvements as the project expands. Finally, the change is anchored into hospital culture by updating policies, performance reviews, and ongoing education. Now, Tyag will be talking about risk management.
Thank you, Priya. To evaluate the risk management section, we used the RPN method. We evaluated the top 10 risk factors from the Exhibit 9. Key threats included poor communication, unclear user value, and weak leadership. Our scoring system prioritized risks based on severity, livelihood, and directability, allowing us to focus mitigation efforts where failure would be both likely and costly. Coming to the key takeaways of our project, one of the biggest key takeaways that we learned from the project is that change isn't just about the new technology, It's about adaptability and helping people feel ready and supported. Many challenges came from people not being sure why the change was needed and how it would help them. But we saw how important it is to have the strong leaders who is visible, encouraging, and involved throughout the process. Listening to people and answering their questions and making small changes based on the feedback helped them build the trust. Working together as a team, including doctors, nurse, tech staff, and managers, made the system work for everyone, not just on the paper, but in the real life as well. In the end, we realized that taking small steps, supporting each other, and being open to learning made the big difference. Thank you.